The body under the oak tree. 10 years ago, I killed someone. To avoid being caught, I buried the body under the old oak tree in my grandmother's backyard. But yesterday, Grandma called to tell me the property was being demolished for a new development. She'd already signed the papers. Chapter 1. By the time I arrived, demolition was halfway done. Dust clouds filled the yard. The excavator sat parked in front of the oak tree. With a thunderous crash, the tree was uprooted. A strip of dark red fabric clung to the tangled roots. I recognized it immediately, the bedsheet I'd used to wrap the body. Cold sweat crawled down my spine. My mind raced. When they found the body, how should I react? Faint? Scream? What would someone seeing a corpse for the first time do? But the excavator simply pivoted and started on the house. The tree was down, but most of the dirt had fallen back into the hole. I'd buried the body deep. Without further digging, it would stay hidden. If I could just wait until nightfall, or after demolition ended, I could move the bones. I exhaled in relief. Then someone shouted, "Hey! There's something in that hole." The crowd of neighbors, hoping to find rumored buried treasure from when my great-grandfather built the house, swarmed forward. Before I could stop them, they were digging. A scream pierced the air. Someone stumbled backward, shouting, "There's a body. A dead body." Chapter 2. Within 30 minutes, police had cordoned off the scene. My heart hammered like a drum. With modern forensics, they'd identify the victim through dental records. My lies would unravel. I'd be a suspect. A murderer. Everything I'd hidden would be exposed. My reputation, my career destroyed. I swallowed hard, hands trembling. The officers cleared the crowd and wheeled the remains past me. Even under the white sheet, something felt wrong. My pupils dilated. This wasn't the body I'd buried. Same bedsheet, but I'd stripped my victim naked to leave no evidence. This corpse wore clothes and military-style boots. The boots looked familiar, but I couldn't place them. Who was this? Why were they here? Where was the body I'd buried? Had someone switched them intentionally or by accident? Ms. Rachel Morgan? The cold voice snapped me back. Detective Harrison stood before me. Are you all right? He offered me a tissue for my sweating forehead. I forced a smile. Sorry. Just shocked. Understandable. We need you to give a statement. Is now okay? In the police car, Detective Harrison broke the silence. You haven't been home in years, according to neighbors. Even when your grandmother was hospitalized, you just sent money. Why come back now? True. Since college, I'd never returned. First, because only my distant grandmother remained. Second, that night had left deep psychological scars. Years of therapy barely made me functional. I feared returning would trigger another breakdown. I kept my voice steady. The demolition payment is over $100,000. I need a down payment for a house. One sentence explained everything. Anyone would want that money, especially someone struggling alone in the city. Detective Harrison gave a meaningful, "oh," and fell silent. Chapter 3. At the station, with the victim unidentified, their questions were limited. Did we have enemies? Had the tree been disturbed before? Was Grandma always home? Would someone have time to bury a body? I answered patiently. No enemies. Grandma's well-liked by neighbors. I wouldn't know, I haven't been back in years. She mostly stays between home and the corner where neighbors gather. You'd have to ask her for specifics. Detective Harrison scribbled notes, about to ask more when the door opened. Detective, we've got something on the body. You need to see this. Through the heavy door, I caught fragments, years ago, missing person. My mind jumped to him. His disappearance had made headlines. The detective on that case had questioned me repeatedly. But I was certain I'd stripped him completely when I buried him. Had someone found him and dressed him out of pity? No. I'd destroyed his face. Even his father couldn't have identified him. Besides, his father that night had also. And who would randomly dig under our oak tree? Unless someone else was there that night. The thought of eyes watching from the darkness while I worked made me shake uncontrollably, cold sweat soaking my back. I clenched my fists, breathing deeply to calm myself. But that night's images flooded back. Just as I was about to break, Detective Harrison returned. He noticed my distress. Are you okay? I forced a smile on my pale face. Low blood sugar. If there's nothing else, I'd like to rest. He slid the statement across. If everything looks correct, please sign. Don't leave town. We may need you again. I picked up the pen. By the way, he said suddenly, has anyone from your area gone missing over the years? My hand jerked, leaving a black streak across the white paper. Not that I know of. But I haven't been back in years. Detective Harrison wasn't letting go. Really? I remember a young man who disappeared. Big news back then. What was his name? Oh right, Tyler Webb. You two were classmates, weren't you? I swallowed hard. Tyler Webb was the person I'd buried 10 years ago. Chapter 4. Fighting my panic, I signed and pushed the paper back. Tyler? He didn't really disappear. He left with his father. You might not know they owed a lot of money. Skipped town to avoid creditors. He actually said goodbye before leaving. Honestly, Tyler's heartless. All these years, never once contacted me. My voice grew more confident with each word. Like Tyler really had left for work with his dad. I'd rehearsed these lines countless times over the years. I was ready to say them whenever anyone mentioned him. But after that night 10 years ago, it was like he'd been erased from memory. No one ever asked. Until today. Detective Harrison watched silently. I glanced outside, lowering my voice. You don't think the body is? No, impossible. How could it be? It's not him, Detective Harrison interrupted. I relaxed slightly, straightening up. Whoever moved Tyler's body, at least this case wasn't connected to me. But new questions arose. If not Tyler, why bring him up? Unless Tyler's remains were somehow still in that hole? I almost laughed. At the thought. Even if there were, DNA results couldn't come back this fast. Detective Harrison studied me. Feeling better? I nodded. The sugar helped. Then. I cut him off. Ask whatever you need. I'm fine. But he just said, drive safely. We won't escort you back. Back home, my thoughts remained fixed on that unidentified body. The house was half demolished, but my room survived. I could manage one night. Grandma had fainted when they found the body. At the hospital, she complained of aches everywhere. Translation, she didn't want to come home. Who would want to sleep where a murder might have occurred? My neighbor Mrs. Chen invited me to stay with her. I declined. Grandma asked me to watch the house. She left muttering, the old woman's lost it. Really thinks there's gold buried here? Who's going to steal in the middle of the night? Poor Rachel, too educated for her own good. Does whatever Grandma says. I wasn't guarding treasure. Grandma's house sat in the neighborhood center. Only a local could know her schedule well enough to switch bodies. After today's commotion, they might return tonight. If I could catch them, I'd find out where they'd moved Tyler. Chapter 5. I expected a sleepless night of panic. Instead, I fell asleep immediately. In my dream, I was back on that stormy night 10 years ago. Thunder crashed. Wind rattled the doors. Oak blossoms mixed with rain blew inside. Tyler sat on the floor, covered in blood. His hands gripped my arms desperately. I tried to leave but he was too strong. I knelt, sobbing. Please don't. Please. His mouth moved but I couldn't hear the words. I wanted him to speak louder, or just let me go. Then his eyes went wide and he collapsed. Panicked, I shook his face. No response. Then I heard someone calling my name from outside. The voice sounded distant, like from outer space. I jolted awake to find someone in the house. Wiping cold sweat away, I went out to find Detective Harrison. Warm sunlight dispelled the last of my fear. He glanced at my pajamas. Sorry to disturb you. I shook my head. What is it? We found something on the body. Need you to identify it. He handed me a small green booklet. A student ID, clearly old, cover worn. But I could still read Hillside High School. Dread crept in. Opening it, cold shot through me. Tyler's young, rebellious face smiled from the yellowed photo. Blood-stained memories overlapped with that image. My voice shook. Where did you find this? Chapter 6. On yesterday's body. That's impossible. Realizing my outburst, I scrambled to recover. I watched him leave my house that night. How could he be dead here? Wait, yesterday you said it wasn't him. I stepped back. Detective, you don't suspect I killed him? He shook his head. The body isn't his. We're here to understand what happened that night. Not Tyler's body, but asking about Tyler. I understood they suspected Tyler and I killed someone together, or I witnessed Tyler kill someone and covered for him. The student ID was evidence. But how were they certain it wasn't Tyler? Detective Harrison must have read my thoughts. The remains are over 50 years old. Over 50? Before I could process this, he continued, so you were the last person to see Tyler? His hawk-like eyes bore into me, probing. I knew that look. 10 years ago, the detective on Tyler's case had given me the same look. He suspected me. Tyler last seen with me, body at my house, Tyler's belongings on the body. The implications were clear. Under their gaze, I slowly nodded. Please tell us everything about that night. In detail. I reached for cigarettes. Mind if I smoke? With permission, I lit one and began bitterly. That night he came for money, not to say goodbye. You know I almost became Tyler's stepmother, right? Chapter 7. They exchanged glances. They'd read the old files. Smoke curled from my fingers as memories returned. Tyler's family had been our neighborhood's wealthiest. His parents were early migrants to California for work. With both gone constantly, young Tyler lived with my grandmother. We ate together, slept in the same room, went to school together. From age 5 to 17. 12 years. 12 birthdays. I watched him grow from a little kid to over 6 feet tall. His parents visited once or twice yearly at first. Gradually they came separately. Eventually his father brought different women each time. Neighborhood gossip taught me his father had mistresses in California. His mother couldn't handle it and took her own life. Tyler spiraled. His grades plummeted. He ran with dropouts and troublemakers. Teachers called home repeatedly. My elderly grandmother didn't understand. I went instead. I claimed to be Tyler's sister, promised teachers he'd straighten out. I fought him at every turn, dragged him from internet cafes, called cops to his fights, controlled his allowance. Nothing helped. It only made him hate me. We were parallel lines diverging further apart. Fearing he wouldn't even graduate, I called his father. I begged him to come see Tyler. That phone call destroyed whatever remained between us. Chapter 8. Tyler's father returned the next day. Father and son argued immediately. Tyler chased him down the street with a knife. His father booked a flight to leave. Before departing, my dad hosted him for dinner. They drank from dusk to dawn behind closed doors. Next morning, Dad left, taking our last savings. Even the quarters from the cookie jar. When Tyler found out, he gave Grandma all the money his father left him for living expenses. I understood. He worried I'd have no food, no textbooks. Life continued quietly. Senior year arrived. Teachers said I might get a scholarship to Stanford. Tyler had stopped attending school entirely. I planned that once I got to college, I'd bring Tyler to my city. Whether he studied or worked, at least he'd be safe near me. But disaster came first. The night before my 18th birthday, Dad returned after a year away. He cooked a feast, brought me a beautiful dress I'd never seen before. After cake and candles, he suddenly dropped to his knees. Rachel, this might be the last birthday I celebrate with you. I thought he had cancer, like in the movies. I was already planning how to pay for treatment. Instead, he said he'd hurt someone at work in California. The family wanted compensation, or they'd press charges, maybe even push for the death penalty. Watching him slap himself repeatedly, I asked desperately, how can I help? Should we sell the house? He grabbed my hands before I could finish. I knew you loved me. I talked to Tyler's dad. If you marry him, he'll pay everything. Marry Tyler's father? Yes. Dad rambled on. Tyler's dad said once you marry him, he'll take you to California. He bought a nice house there. You can just shop and relax. Rachel, you don't know how amazing California is. Big cities everywhere, perfect for a pretty girl like you. My mind went blank. When I recovered, I yanked my hands away. I screamed that I wouldn't marry anyone, I wanted to study, go to college. My life was just beginning. Why should I marry an old man? He slapped me hard, face twisted in rage. Said I was ungrateful, stubborn. Said rich men loved young girls. Every 18-year-old in the city found a rich husband. Said I didn't appreciate my luck. Tyler's father hadn't even wanted Medad, had begged for this chance. I looked at Detective Harrison, letting ash fall from my cigarette. You asked why I never visited Grandma. Here's your answer. She wanted me to marry Tyler's father too. She helped Dad lock me up. Silence filled the room. Finally, the younger officer asked, I don't understand. What does this have to do with Tyler coming that night? Detective Harrison glared at him, then nodded at me. Continue. Take your time. Chapter 9. That night Dad tied me up and locked me in my room. I knelt, begging through tears. I had good grades, a Stanford scholarship waiting. Once I graduated, I'd make money. Every penny would be his. I swore I'd earn enough to pay his debts and support him in old age. But Dad couldn't see beyond the immediate. After days of standoff, Grandma came to persuade me. She said I was too stubborn. He was my father, wouldn't hurt me. Said women's lives were hard. Even if I was valedictorian, got into Harvard, the workplace would still discriminate. She patted my hand. Be good, dear. Early marriage means comfort. Next morning, I agreed. But I demanded to wait until after graduation. Dad wanted to object, but Tyler's father agreed immediately, bringing a bag of cash that night. Laughable, someone selling their daughter for pocket change. I planned to call police the moment I left home. I'd sleep on the streets before returning. But Dad anticipated this. He drugged me and delivered me to Tyler's house. No one knows what happened that night. Only then did I learn Dad hadn't killed anyone. He owed gambling debts. To feed his addiction. He'd destroy my life. When Tyler got word and returned, I was already his father's wife in all but law. He didn't blame me. Didn't even look at me. He just smashed a beer bottle over his father's head. She's only 18. Aren't you afraid of karma? Prophetic words. Karma came quickly. Wait, the young officer interrupted, indignant. That's rape. Why didn't you report it? I stubbed out my cigarette with a hiss. Report what? That my dad sold me? That my buyer raped me? Then what? Everyone would know. How could I live? I raised my hand to stop his protest. I know what. You'll say it wasn't my fault, just evil men. But I was 18. 10 years ago, without internet advocacy. No one would defend a brave victim. They just gossip about how I was damaged goods. Rumors don't kill you, but they can kill a young woman. Chapter 10. The young officer stared, then lowered his head. Sorry. Please continue. I lit another cigarette. Karma really came. Tyler's father's factory had a fatal accident. Investigators found tax evasion and safety violations. Workers struck for wages. Partners demanded refunds. But materials were bought, money invested, work half done. No one would compromise. The business collapsed overnight. Tyler had problems too. He'd beaten someone badly. Police wanted him. So did the victim's family. He'd planned to get money from his father to settle it. But his father was broke too. That's when I learned money truly corrupts character. Desperate, he turned to me. I'll never forget that night. Thunder and lightning. Wind rattling doors. Oak blossoms mixed with rain blowing in. Tyler, the boy who'd spoiled me for 18 years, came with a knife. Rain plastered his hair down. He wiped it aside casually. Without hesitation, he held the blade to my throat. Where's the money my dad gave you? I need it. Even years later, mentioning him makes me choke up. He held a knife to my throat. Can you believe it? Detective Harrison didn't respond to that, just asked, did you give him the money? Of course not. Dad had already spent it. Maybe suppressing emotions too long, I started sobbing. Crying and screaming. What did I do wrong? Why did you all do this to me? Dad sold me for money. You're even better, you want to kill me. Tyler, we grew up together. 18 years. Isn't 18 years of feelings worth more than money? My hysteria contrasted sharply with his cold silence. Finally, I closed my eyes in resignation. Just kill me. I'm tired of living anyway. Perhaps my reaction scared him. He lowered the knife. He pulled me to sit in the doorway, watching the downpour. He said he was leaving with his father. This place had no room for them. He said he realized only his father loved him. At least his father left him an escape route. He gave me a meaningful look. With that one glance, I knew we could never go back. After Tyler left, the rain stopped instantly. As if the whole storm had been my imagination. But scattered petals and leaves proved it was real. Chapter 11. After that night, my life gradually calmed down. Dad ran off again with whatever money we had left. Even took the quarters from the jar. I paused, something clicking into place. Like an answer about to reveal itself. Was it possible? Detective Harrison noticed my change. What else did Tyler say? Tears fell instantly. At first, nothing. But after packing, he came back, hugged me tight, said to live well. No one would bother me again. Then he added, including my dad. I'd never told the original detective these words. They'd seemed unimportant then. Could it be? I stared at Detective Harrison. You said the body was over 50? Any signs of a broken left leg? Missing left molar? His expression grew serious. I knew I was right. It really was him. Really was my father, Daniel Morgan. But why? Why would someone do this? Though the details basically confirmed the body was Daniel Morgan, Detective Harrison still took hair samples for DNA testing. By the way, we found soil from 2 locations on the body. Meaning your house wasn't the primary crime scene. Your father, the victim, was killed elsewhere, then moved to your property. Hearing this, I'd already guessed the whole truth. I couldn't hide my grief, sobbing uncontrollably. I tried to speak but choked on every word. How many years? How many years since I'd cried like this? I'd thought the world was unfair, that no one truly loved me. But someone had been protecting me in their own way, where I couldn't see. Chapter 12. Detective Harrison was leaving when Grandma returned. Her expression remained cold as always. Harrison had tried questioning her several times, but she'd always claimed illness. Seeing me in tears, she volunteered, Detective Harrison, ask your questions now. Since we'd basically identified my father as the victim, Harrison's tone was gentler. After all, losing a child in old age wasn't easy. Same questions. Had she noticed anything unusual about the oak tree? When did she last see Daniel? Had she heard Tyler that night? 10 years ago when my son ran away, I cried all night. My eyes have been bad since. Forget the tree, I might not notice a thief in the house. Last saw my son 10 years ago. Tyler's father brought money. Daniel loved that money more than me. It's my fault, couldn't give him a proper life. My hearing's always been poor. The storm was so loud that night, I heard nothing. Only learned Tyler came when police asked later. If I'd known that little beast had a knife, I'd have slapped him senseless. Asked if I'd taught him any manners. Grandma's age showed when she spoke, unconsciously wiping tears. Finally, she sighed heavily. Detective, tell me honestly, who's buried under my tree? The officers exchanged glances before one croaked, results aren't in yet. We'll notify you immediately. She nodded. If you're done with this worthless girl, send her back where she came from. If her mother had given me a son, I wouldn't be alone in old age. The worthless girl was me. Chapter 13. Detective Harrison left without comment. Some attitudes, like favoring sons, never change no matter what you say. After seeing them out, Grandma went to her room without looking back. Half an hour later, she emerged with a bamboo basket. Since you're here, go pay respects to your grandfather. At those words, I lost all control. I dropped to my knees, hugging her thin legs, wailing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The old woman was stronger than me, eyes glistening but voice firm. Don't tell me. Save it for him. The family plot wasn't far, but the walk felt endless and difficult. Nothing had changed in 10 years. Grandfather's grave had no weed, someone clearly tended it regularly. I imagined the scene. The old woman sitting by the mound, chattering about stories and daily life. Like when she used to get us to sleep as children. Sometimes probably scolding me for being heartless. She arranged dishes carefully. Spicy tofu, braised pork, pig ears, yellow croaker. All Tyler's favorites. Chapter 14. Tyler, she poured soda. Rachel's come to see you. This heartless girl. Finally came back. Clear tears rolled down her weathered cheeks. Then suddenly she defended me. But don't blame her. I wouldn't let her return. She kept hinting about visiting you, but I refused. She couldn't come back. It would have ruined everything. Grandma turned, hitting me lightly. Stupid girl, why come back? What did I say? Once you left, never return. If I hadn't been careful, you'd be in prison, understand? I knelt silently. It really was her. Really was Grandma. Tyler, I failed you. But only you could take the blame for murder. I failed Rachel and you both. When I die, I'll make it right. Tears blurred my vision, making Grandma's frail figure shimmer and fade. The distance from home to the cemetery was short, but she was elderly. I could picture it, the old woman alone at night, digging him up from under the tree, transporting him here to bury. Then digging him up again to move back home. Even young me had been exhausted by it. You. She pulled me into her embrace, familiar scent enveloping me. Silly child, I'm old but I could take my time. I'm aged, but I can still protect you. Your biggest mistake was trying to hide from me that you planned to die with that beast. Chapter 15. Tyler didn't kill Daniel Morgan. I did. Not self-defense, not accident. I wanted us to die together. When Tyler's father's business failed, he went to Daniel first. He demanded Daniel repay part of the money. But Daniel had used it all for gambling debts. He hid constantly, avoiding Tyler's father. While he panicked, I felt relieved. Because I was free. But Daniel wasn't done with me. I'll never forget that rainy night. Daniel, absent for days, drugged Grandma's tea, then came at me with a knife. He threatened to take me to California and sell me again. I refused. I fought back. He beat me. Viciously. Thunder masked my desperate screams. When he tired, he bent over panting, threatening me. Come with me or I'll burn this house down with the old woman inside. I stared in disbelief. That's your mother. He shrugged. So what? You're my daughter. In that moment, I knew he was beyond redemption. I'd already forgotten how I got the knife. One thought consumed me. Die together. By heaven's grace, Daniel tripped over a stool. Without hesitation, I plunged the knife into his chest, again and again. Until Tyler grabbed my arms. Only then did I realize I'd killed someone. Chapter 16. Learning what happened, Tyler showed unprecedented calm. First, he got a bedsheet to cover Daniel, then helped me wash the blood off my hands and change clothes. I followed like a puppet until he wiped the knife clean and pressed his own prints on it. I realized he planned to take the blame. I pushed him away. Go. Take care of Grandma. I'm dying with this bastard anyway. Tyler slapped me hard. Rachel, get it together. Your life's just beginning. Remember? You could get that scholarship. You have your whole life ahead. Listen to me. I'll confess, take the blame, go to prison. You make money. When I get out, you support me, okay? Between us, someone needs to survive, right? Remember? You're my princess. I'll always protect you. He said it was his fault wasn't there when his father hurt me. He'd promised to protect me forever. I understood Tyler. Anyone would break after their mother's suicide. I understood his avoidance. Finally, he knelt before me. Rachel, let me do this. Let me repay what I owe you. Then Tyler's father arrived. Seeing the blood, he immediately understood. No shock, no fear. Instead, where's the money? He's dead, where's my money? When we stayed silent, he went crazy, searching my clothes for non-existent cash. He and Tyler fought viciously. I tried to help Tyler but his father shoved me hard. My back hit furniture, pain shooting through me. Then Tyler fell too. Clutching his stomach, I saw he was wounded. Without thinking, I grabbed a chair and smashed it over his father's head. Tyler seized the moment to stab his father with the knife. Blood covered Tyler completely. Chapter 17. I panicked completely, trembling hands reaching for my phone to call 911. Don't be scared. It's okay. Tyler's clear hand caught mine. No, Rachel. Blood flowed from his mouth as he spoke. I kept wiping, but more came. Rachel, don't call police. Once you do, nothing stays hidden. You have such a bright future. I can't ruin it. Screw the future. I just wanted him alive. I'd go to prison, serve time, face execution. Anything. Just live, Tyler. You can't die. You promised to always protect me. You said you'd marry me when we grew up. Tyler's shaking hand wiped my tears. Good girl, don't cry. Listen. If police come looking for me, say I ran off with my dad. Only then did I learn his father had fake IDs ready to flee. My dad owed so much money. Running makes sense. Lucky I've been cold to you lately. Tell police I came for money, you refused, you ran. His hands gripped my arms desperately. I tried to leave but he was too strong. No matter how I struggled, I couldn't break free. I knelt, sobbing. Please don't. Please. His mouth moved but I couldn't hear the words. I wanted him to speak louder. Then he collapsed before me. The wind stopped. The rain stopped. I held Tyler's body and wept. He'd shielded me from every storm. Chapter 18. I still wanted to confess. But when I tried calling again, there was no signal. Looking at Tyler's unseeing eyes, something clicked. I wiped my tears. I loaded Dad's body onto a wheelbarrow. I couldn't move both at once, so I'd go one at a time. Burying them in the family plot was Tyler's old joke. He'd said if I ever killed someone, hide the body in the family cemetery. No one would ever look there. The muddy path after rain should have been difficult, but that night felt strangely smooth. Digging, burying like someone else controlled my body. I didn't dig deep. I was certain no one would find them. But dawn approached. Worried about discovery, I dragged Tyler's father to the abandoned pig pen. Grandma's property was large enough to hide him temporarily. Next came the crime scene. I washed the concrete floor with buckets of water. Our floor sat higher than outside. Blood water flowed out naturally. Mixed with rainwater on concrete, it vanished. Finally, Tyler's body. I stripped him, burned our clothes. Nearly dawn when I finished burying him. Next morning, Grandma noticed immediately. Even without visible blood, the smell was unmistakable. Especially since I'd been careless. I tried explaining, but she said nothing, just cleaned everything again more thoroughly. Usually, she'd prepare slop for Mrs. Chen's pigs next door while Mrs. Chen visited her daughter. But that day she prepared nothing. I waited anxiously all day, planning to move the body when she left. That evening, she brought Mrs. Chen's pigs to our place. Then Tyler's father's body disappeared. Next, Grandma packed my things and threw me out. Publicly, she called me a curse who'd driven away her son. Privately, she said coldly, "Don't think I don't know what you did. Get out. Never come back." Chapter 19. So you decided then to help me hide the bodies? Grandma stroked my hair. Paper can't wrap fire. With police constantly checking on Tyler, I had no choice but to bring your father back. If they found him, Tyler fled after murdering someone. I know it's unfair to Tyler, but I had to protect the living. Grandma spoke casually, as if it had been easy. Only I knew the truth. No wonder during my exile, Mrs. Chen secretly found me at school, saying Grandma had gone crazy, locking everyone out. She'd been atoning for me. Even with Tyler's ID, I knew police wouldn't close the case so easily. Looking at the white-haired old woman, I made a decision. I couldn't let my honest grandmother lose sleep over me anymore. Time to face everything. I gave myself 5 days to make up for lost time with Grandma. Demolition halted because of our situation. Few neighbors remained anywhere moved away or gone to the city. Those 5 days felt like childhood again. Clinging to Grandma, eating her cooking. Visiting Tyler's grave regularly. The morning I planned to confess, I deliberately sent Grandma away. But before I could leave, Detective Harrison arrived. His expression was grim. DNA results are in. It's your father. The killer is Tyler. I froze. Harrison, thinking I was grieving, quickly comforted me. We've issued a nationwide warrant for Tyler, but I heard nothing after that. Why him? Detective Harrison explained they'd found the murder weapon in Tyler's well. Despite the years, Tyler's fingerprints remained. Also, your neighbor saw Tyler leaving your house in distress. Neighbor? Now I was shocked. Yes. Following his gaze, I saw Mrs. Chen. She saw Tyler fleeing your house looking bloody. According to her, she'd called to Tyler but he ignored her. I swallowed nervously. When? The day he said goodbye to you. That fit. Daniel had sent Grandma away that day, worried she'd interfere. Daniel hadn't shown himself all day. Finally, Harrison said meaningfully they'd do their best to catch the killer. When Grandma returned with pastries, she passed Harrison at the door. Though outwardly calm, her trembling hands betrayed her. Why were the police here? Did you confess? You foolish child. I smiled. They confirmed the killer. It's Tyler. Chapter 20. Case solved, demolition resumed. Grandma used it as an excuse to perform, coming with me to my city. Before leaving, I visited Mrs. Chen. She mostly lived downtown now. Seeing me, she was warm. Thank you. Thank you for your statement. Mrs. Chen's eyes reddened as she smiled. Silly girl, we couldn't let him die for nothing. You need to live well. Yes, I need to live well. The storm has passed. Only sunny days ahead. The end.